through the night, this child innocent.
Hi, I'm Diane. Dayton. We're at the 23rd Annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest in Reading, Pennsylvania. We're catching up behind the scenes with Grammy Award-winning vocalist Dianne Reeves. Thanks for taking time, Diane.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
You had a good sound check, yes?
Yeah. Sweet and short.
Sweet and short. That is a good sound check.
Yeah.
Boy, Diane, you have won 4 Grammys, and I know you and I talked about this when we were on the telephone. 4 Grammys with 3 consecutive recordings. That's unheard of.
Well, it was nice.
It was a good thing, wasn't it?
It was a surprise to me, too, because all of those years there were extraordinary albums that were out as well. So I'm really thankful.
Yeah. What was it like the first time you won your very first Grammy? Do you remember?
Yeah, because I wasn't there. You know, the very first time I had gotten sick and I had to stay home. And I remember it was Erykah Badu and Tony Bennett. They said, "She's not here. Where is she?" Well, we give it on her behalf, you know. And so I watched it on television.
Oh,
but it was still great.
Yeah. But you were there after that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Haven't missed one since.
Haven't missed it. You've been singing for a long time, haven't you? How did you start, Diane?
Well, I come from a family of musicians, and I remember when I really discovered my voice, I was of junior high school age, and it was at a time, you know, that, you know, you're searching, and nobody understands you, and, you know, your hormones are just raging and so forth, and I discovered music for myself, my voice, both spiritually and the sound. And it was empowering, and I knew that it was right then and I wanted to do this. I loved it, and I loved the way that people reacted when I would sing.
How does that make you feel when you see people responding to what you do?
Well, I feel very blessed, and I also feel very responsible. So in that, you know, I just make sure that the words that I sing are things that I have stories behind, I stand behind, because words are powerful. And but I love the position of being, you know, singing, and this is my passion, and I love it.
Yeah, and we love what you do too.
Thank you.
When you're up there and you're performing, and you are putting so much of yourself into this, you're feeding off of the crowd as well too.
Oh yeah, you know, I always tell people there's an intimate exchange that happens between myself and my musicians. I mean, every night is different. And we always invite the audience to be a part of that as well, you know. And I love it because it's just like a soul-to-soul experience.
Yeah. If we were to be a good audience for you, what would you like us to do?
I just want you to be yourselves, you know, whatever that is, you know. I'm open.
To...
You know, I just tell people you can, you know, dance down the aisles if you want, clap your hands, shout, whatever. You know, if it makes you feel good, just let go.
And I'm going to remember that.
Okay.
Join you dancing down the aisles, too. The CD that you have, When You Know, love songs, boy, that spans. Tell me more about that.
It was interesting. That album came about because I also work in many configurations, but I do this thing called Strings Attached, which is voice and 2 guitars, and it's Homero Lubamba, who will be with me tonight, and the great Russell Malone. And it's an extraordinary kind of trio. I love it because everybody's from really different places, but we just come together and make this thing. And everybody knew a lot of songs, and so when we were out on tour the very first time, we had a list of songs that we were going to do, and then we'd get together and talk about, well, do you know this song, and do you know this song, and then we would just do them. And there were all of these great songs that had so many amazing stories around them. And we could talk about where we were in our lives when we first heard them and so forth. And so I said I wanted to record them. And so When You Know are those songs.
And it really covers the whole gambit too, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah, it really, really does.
That's what makes it like the ultimate love song.
Yeah.
CD.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When you're not performing and you're not on stage or you're traveling, what do you like to do, Diane?
When I'm not performing and when I'm not traveling?
Yeah. I mean, okay, the small amount of time.
You know, I love to cook. I'm really good, and I entertain a lot.
Oh, really?
And then I live in Colorado, and it's really beautiful there, so I take advantage of that. But I'm a homebody when I go home because I'm on the road quite a bit.
What do you really like to cook?
All kind of things, because when I'm out on the road, I gather spices and tastes, and I come back and try to make them for the people that at home. I was like, taste this. This is so incredible, and I've been very fortunate to have a lot of different chefs invite me to their kitchens and say, oh, this is how you do this, and really, really sweet. And so I do that, and like when I'm in Turkey, I go to the spice market and taste things and bring them home. And I'm more like a jazz musician cook because I improvise quite a bit.
We should do a show around that, just to add to your plate.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of traveling around the world. You've met a lot of different people. You've performed with a lot of different people, and they've performed with you too. What have you really learned through all of this?
Oh, that all of these different people that are out there, they're like their own universe. And the most beautiful thing that you can do is collaborate. Collaboration is a very cool and inspirational kind of thing. And so when you're out on tour with people, and a lot of times you don't even talk to them when you're just around the corner. But when you're on the road, you see each other and you get together and jam, and I just love all of that.
If you were to say what's really important to you, deep down in your heart, what is it that's important in your life, Diane?
Ooh, just consciousness, and maintain some joy, and seek love every day.
And seeking love and having joy is a part of what makes life so wonderful. And I think that's what you do for us when you're on stage. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about your band tonight?
Oh, I have an extraordinary band. On piano is Peter Martin. We've been together, well, all of us, we've been together for many years. Peter's amazing. All of these gentlemen have their own groups and do their own thing. I met Peter when he was living in New Orleans, and he's my musical director, and I don't know what I would do without him. And then on bass is Russell Malone. I'm sorry, Reginald Veal. Reggie would kill me. Anyway, Reginald Veal, and Reggie is from New Orleans as well, and I met him there, and when he used to work with Marcellus. Terrion Gully is my drummer, who is extraordinary. He's the youngest in the band, who inspires me every day. And then the guitarist, Homero Lubambo, I say he's my brother from another mother. He's from Brazil, plays everything with everybody, and I'm very, very blessed to have him.
That's a great band. If someone's watching, and let's say they were a vocalist and they wanted to perform on a larger scale, what words of advice would you have, Diane?
I just tell young vocalists when I'm working with them, and when we could talk and whatever, it's like, I just remind them that there's nobody in the world like them, and take their voices, not the instrument, but the thing that makes them do what they do, and define it and refine it and respect it and protect it.
Good words of advice.
Just start there.
Yeah. Now, when you do a song, you so totally own this, and you tell stories. And I know how we would define your voice. How do you define your voice?
I never think about it, but I know that, growing up and listening to different singers, they all understood, like Ella, Sarah, all of them understood what their voices could do. Barbra Streisand, and really, like what I just said, really developed their sound and their instrument. And it's just Diane, it's just me.
Well, it's a beautiful voice, a wonderful instrument, and you truly are blessed, and you bless us when you're up there performing.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking time today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear the concert tonight.
Good.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time.
Yeah, indeed. We're coming to you from the 23rd Annual Boz Cobb's Berks Jazz Fest in Reading, Pennsylvania.
This child is born once more. One pair of eyes, one work of art, here in my arms. Here lies precious more. When you sigh, the living ways to reveal in a phrase how I feel. Have you ever heard two turtles, Bill and Lou, when they love, that's the magic with our lips. When we kiss with our lips, when we But